Yep. 95.5 KLOS. There was Kenny Loggins.
That last 30 seconds you heard there was some of the nastiest riffing you're going to come across. Now,
that was a cool way to build that song. That was kind of just climaxes there at the end, all over itself.
We've heard it twice. We were with Kenny on our second appearance on The Tonight Show. He was there.
You guys were brilliant, by the way.
Thank you, Ed.
For our 4 minutes, we were brilliant. But we had a chance to talk with Kenny real quickly there. And then we ran into him again in San Francisco at this radio convention, whatnot. And he has the new album. We talked in depth about various things. And frankly, well, with Kenny with us for the next 45 minutes, we have quite a few things to cover. We'll be talking about the new album, his current situation in his life, and what has been happening over the past 20 years that he's dominated the charts of music. So we, first of all, want to thank you very, very heavily and deeply for coming and being with us today.
It's my pleasure. I appreciate it.
Very cool.
Kenny, the songs that you sang from the older albums were as emotional, a bit more fun maybe. Now, you've gotten into some very meaningful things inside you. Now, are these inspired from your experiences going on in your life right now?
Absolutely, yeah. No, all my music, all my best music has been inspired by my experiences. You know, they talk, people are saying now that this is the most personal record I've done, but not really. When you look back at Danny's song was about my brother, This Is It was about my father, you know, I've had songs about my children gradually here and there, you know, Only a Miracle. But the nature of songwriting, I believe, is that you dig from that place, that personal place, and the way you write it so that other people can take it and make it their own personal song. So Danny's song, as we know over the years, has been, you know, moved a lot of people and been felt very personally by individuals everywhere. Yet, for me, when I wrote it, it was just strictly about me and my brother. So it's just how you write a song, you know, that I think good art should come from that deepest place in the artist. It should mean something to the artist. It should mean as much as possible, and that will then transcend to a larger audience.
Do you think you've grown and expanded now with this new album, or is it?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think if I were to critique my own work, I would say that in the past I'd been reluctant to look into the scary places and to write about painful things, and so my work tended to be a little light. You know, it wouldn't move into the shadow.
Well, you know, we could sit for the next hour or so and we could dance around and pretend that life is good and life is perfect for us and for those that listen to the show, but it isn't. We've all had
They call that positive thinking.
Okay,
we can talk about that.
But you yourself, as many of us and many of those that are listening have dealt with, you have dealt with a personal hell in the past, the recent past, and you were separated from your wife and now divorced.
That's right.
You got the 3 kids.
Yeah, and the whole issue of what they call custody these days, that's pretty tough too.
There is a song on the album that we're going to get into in a minute, but if you would share with the listening audience what you shared with the audience in San Francisco concerning the song that you sang. You were trying to sit down and write a song to your daughter.
Well, this was, I guess, going on 3 years ago. And at that time, we were planning a christening, you know, like a baptism kind of thing, for the little girl, my daughter Isabella. And so I'd promised myself that I was going to write a christening song for her. And, you know, as time goes by, gradually, you know, you're getting up to like finals, you know, where you're getting up to about an hour before the christening. And I sat down in a hotel room about a week before the christening to see what I could come up with. And what came through, rather than, you know, something for a ceremony like that, what came through was a song called The Real Thing, which made me look, and when I say came through, I mean I was completely shocked by what, you know, I was just singing off the top of my head, walking around the room and singing whatever came to me. And the words and music came through all at one time. I did it for you and the boys because love should teach you joy and not the imitation that your mommy and daddy tried to show you. And I went home and, you know, what is, can I say that word on the air?
Yeah, go.
And holy shit, I said to myself, I said,
he said that. Nice that you didn't sing it to yourself, otherwise it would have been in the song. But you said it to yourself.
Because they had no control, you know, just throwing it out. That's what it was.
There it is.
Yeah. So, but anyway, you sat down and you were trying to put this, and it didn't really come out the way you had sat down for it to come out. It came out.
It made me look at, it probably was the focal point for the for the album, the beginnings of the album itself. But what I saw was that something big was happening in my life, and I hadn't really wanted to look at it. And
that was the first realization of what was going on with you and your wife?
Well, there's problems. We'd been working on the marriage for a couple of years, but I hadn't quite realized that I'd made it to that point. When a year before we would separate, I'm writing a song that is a retrospective of having already separated. So, a part of me knew I was already out of there, and that I'd done everything I could, but I still stayed another year, and we worked on it another year before I finally brought the song out of my back pocket and finished it with David Foster.
Well, the sad thing of it is, and again, we deal with it, a large percentage of married couples, kids or not, they do part ways. And having a couple of children myself, that is really...
Living hell, I believe, is living in a relationship you don't belong in. To live in a relationship where there is no love. The problem is most people have given up believing in love. They think, well, this is as good as it gets, or this is what love is. And, or maybe I can't expect any more than this in my life. Certainly my parents didn't have any more than this. Love is duty. Love is getting through the day. Love is some level of companionship. And what's so threatening about my record is that I say, no, love is more than just companionship. There is such a thing as love, but you have to insist on it in your life. And many of us have never even been trained that we have the right to insist on love. You just get what you get, and to hell with anything else. It's just as good as you can get. That's not true. You can have love in your life, but you have to force the situation. You have to push yourself into a place where you can have it. You either work on your marriage with the person you're married to and find a way of moving in deeper to what really matters to you. And basically, my prescription for that is learn to tell the truth. You can't tell the truth until you know what you're feeling. If you've shut down to the point where you have no idea how you feel, how can you have a relationship?
These are very inspiring words to, especially to guys and girls, I guess, in a position where they're not married yet and they've been holding out. We've been taught that the fairy tale isn't really true; it's a fairy tale.
It's not a fairy tale.
And that if you keep believing, I've always hoped that my personal quest or desire was there, that the fairy tale is there, and it'll be there sometime if you wait for it and want it to happen.
Absolutely. I find that many people I meet have a real clear vision of the relationship they'd like to be in, but the so-called realities of life wear them down to the point where they accept whatever they get. Also, part of the problem is the era that we live in. We have been conditioned to believe that we should pick a particular type of mate. Women hold out for the rich man. They hold out for the cool guy, the sexy guy, the this guy, the that guy. Men look for a beautiful woman that they can walk into a party and feel validated by with this woman on their arms. That's all bullshit. And since we're on the subject, you got to, if you want love in your life, you do not qualify that. You simply say, I'm ready for love in my life, whatever package comes to me, and let your heart do the rest. But right now we're in an era where our brains and our minds are running our lives, and your mind is not really your best friend. Your mind is going to take your part. Your mind is your cynic. Your mind is the critic. Every time you say something here that you might not like, your mind is going to jump in and say, what a jerk you were. How could you say this or how could you say that? And you guys are on the microphone all the time, and you're dealing with your internal critic all the time.
Well, let us tell you, just based on the last 5 minutes, both Brian and myself will marry you right now, and we'll give you anything you want, anything you'd ever need.
That's the whole reason I brought this up.
Kenny, don't be insulted, but I'd really like to go beyond this surface stuff and get and get deep, if we could. If we could just get deep into the
I thought I'd
conversation.
hold back a while.
All right, listen. Here's the deal. Okay. Kenny's guitar people are here. They're going to set some things up. We're going to take a commercial, and the first song we're going to ask Kenny to do is The Real Thing, which is the song he was just describing. Would that be all right?
I'd love that.
Can you do that here live?
We'll all try.
All right, and then we want to touch base with what we've known you for the past 20 years, and kind of whatever, we all have our favorites. Celebrate Me Home. I mean, the list is endless that we could ask for, but it's going to kind of be Whenever I Call You Friend. Whatever.
Whenever I Call You Friend.
I only brought 6 guitars, so I'm really not sure if I can do that song.
All right, very cool. Kenny Loggins is in the studio, and we'll show you why in a moment. Stand by.
So here we are, and what I want to sing for you again, as a refresher here, is a song from the new album, and the song is called The Real Thing. And basically, just to explain to those of you who've never heard the tune, it is the point of view of the father singing to the daughter, still, like I said before. And let's just do it. Amanda, I know what you're thinking. More echo. You and I have much to say. You've been making me crazy, trying to understand. It's impossible at your age. I know I said that I'll always try. But you're going to bed alone again tonight, and you lie there in the dark and wonder why. I did it for you, boys, 'cause love teach you joy. Not the invitation that your mama and daddy tried to show you. I did it for you, for me, and because I still believe there's only one thing you can never give up, or ever compromise on, and that's the real thing you need in love. So afraid your life is over, and nothing I can say can change your mind. How could anybody be so selfish and treat you all so cruel? Go on and scream at me and cry. How long will this hold you in my soul? And I'm never gonna leave you all alone. But your daddy doesn't live here anymore. Oh, 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 oh. I did it for you and the boys, because love should teach you joy, not the imitation that your mama and daddy tried to show you. I did it for you and for me, and because I still believe there's only one thing you can never give up, or ever compromise on, and that's the real thing you need in life. Oh, yeah. Everybody's got a boat upon the ocean. Not everybody's sailing out to sea. Is there someone there for me? I'm ready to believe. Na, 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 na.
the joy and not the imitation. So mama and daddy tried to show you. I did it for you, for me, because I still believe there's only one thing you can never give up or ever compromise on, and that's the real thing you need in love. Oh, every man.
Kenny Loggins. That song.
It means
that song
means a great deal more to some than others, but that was extremely special, Kenny, and thank you very much for doing that right off the bat there.
If you keep doing songs that are honest and from the heart, you can get as personal as you want to get.
I appreciate that.
That was a joy to hear.
Thank you.
Well, that's Kenny Loggins is what that is, and that again is from his new album, which, by the way, is out and available. This has been in stores for a while, and we've been privy to it and had it in our cars for a bit. And we did play which song? Which cut did we play, Nicole? The one. Oh, that's such a that's a killer tune.
The disc is called Leap of Faith. Go get it. You'll like it.
All right, now let's go back a bit. We've dealt with today and what you've been dealing with in the past few years, but we've been familiar with Kenny Loggins since the days of Loggins and Messina. And have you spoken with Jim? Or
ago.
Yeah, it was a while.
Well, there's been some water under that bridge.
Really?
So how were those days? And do you talk with Jim?
Yeah, I just talked to Jim the other day. We don't really hang out together, but we do see each other occasionally. And he helped me with this record in that he has a studio up in Santa Barbara.
And you actually went and worked with him. Feel free to call for whatever you need. Throw it out.
Yeah, and yeah, I worked in his studio for a while, and basically I was trying to stay home as much as possible, because in those days when I was working on the record, the kids were living with me up in Santa Barbara. And so we had a whole year where I did Mr. Mom, and did the whole school year last year. It was really sweet.
You enjoyed that?
I loved it. I loved it, and I miss it. But now is a different season and a time to change. You know, as I mentioned, the whole custody thing. My wife ended up getting the children to move to Los Angeles, and my sense of it is that it's appropriate for the children at this time. I mean, it wasn't easy, but
it wasn't easy for the kids, I would assume.
No, it was really tough. It was really tough, especially on the oldest boy.
And it's tough to see it be tough on your children.
Yeah, but it's tougher to stay together in a marriage, not only where I felt I wasn't happy, but also what I'm teaching the children, like the song says, what I'm teaching the children at that moment, if I stay together in that relationship is jail, that you're powerless to change your life, that there's no such thing as love, so don't even bother trying. Those lessons are much more painful lessons that the children are going to grow up and hate you for. I think one of the reasons why teenagers grow up and are so angry at their parents is because their parents are teaching lies to their children. And primarily the relationship lie is going to be one that's going to come back on you, and you're going to raise real angry kids because they're going to want to set themselves free from that stuff. So that period, you know, they talk about 13, 14, 15 years being the rough time. But my sense of it is, and from the people I know who've gone through it, it doesn't have to be the rough time if you learn to be honest with your children. And so we're getting into it today.
No, it's all right. It's very good. How old is the daughter now that you wrote that song for?
She's 4.
Can you imagine when she's 12, 15, 20, and she hears that song?
Well, my 10-year-old boy came to me the other day and said that he considers this the song he loves the most and the song he hates the most. Because
pretty wise little boy, yeah.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, he's amazing. It hurts for him to listen to it, but he loves it because he gets the point, he gets the message. And we have, all my children and I have a really honest, you know, straightforward relationship, and I don't hide anything from them. A lot of people think that you have to protect your children from the truth or protect your children from things that they can't understand. But I got to tell you, children feel and understand everything. And as soon as we came out, my wife and I told the children that we were separating. They knew it. They said, yeah, we felt there was something wrong. We knew that you guys weren't happy, and we just want you to be happy. And they really do. That children will try to hold on to the old form. It'll take a long time for children to change and accept the fact that mommy and daddy aren't together, but that's the nature of change itself. I don't think any of us adapt to change well. We like to say children are more flexible. Children bounce back. They have just as much trouble with change as we do. Children are just as valid people as we are, and we should learn to adapt. I think we just protect ourselves as adults from change and lay it on the children. Treat the children like non-entities, like non-human beings, and expect them to do all the changing. We're just calcifying in our crap.
Now you've got the 4-year-old, the 10-year-old, and was it 6?
10, 9, and 4.
Okay. Now the 9 and the 10-year-old were probably able to understand and converse and tell you how they felt and so forth. How did you deal with the 4-year-old in telling her?
You tell her everything anyway, because she understands on her level, and she feels way more deeply than she can communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell them anyway. Even you do not treat them as a subspecies. They feel everything, and that's the point I'm trying to make. So you tell them what's going on. You tell them how you're feeling about things as best you can. In a situation like separation and divorce, your own emotions are very confused, and sometimes you're really not sure. You're not sure whether, in a separation situation, you're not sure if mommy and daddy are ever getting back together again. So you tell them that. We're gonna move away from each other for a period of time. We're giving each other room, however you need to say it, and understand that they're not going to understand the words as much as they're going to get the feeling of what you're telling them, and it keeps them feeling honored. It's the strongest thing that comes through this is that the child feels self-validated. They feel that I am a valid person. I'm getting the truth from my parents, and you also honor their intuitions, so that as they grow up, they don't have to stomp on their own intuition the way we did. They can grow up knowing that their intuition is right, that the feelings they have are right, and they follow that instead of their brains. So by telling your children the truth of your own life, you teach them that they're valid people, and that they have something to think and something to feel.
All right, they're handing guitars. Are we ready for another one at this point? Which would be extremely cool if we were.
What would you like to sing?
Well, I thought since you wanted to dip a little bit into the L&M stuff, I'd be happy to oblige you and do a little bit of some of the trademark stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, let's just shift these mics over for a second. I'm here with the guitar player in my band, who is Guy Thomas.
Hey, Guy. Hey. How you doing?
Been a real sport doing these morning shows with me.
He's the one who got stuck on the freeway?
No, the guitar tech had all the guitars in the truck because the truck is setting up for the Wiltern tonight.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. So if I can do this, it's a little crowded in here and a little early.
Not for us.
It's sounding a little like Tom Waits this morning, but...
Hey, man, we're peaking.
Okay. Christopher Robin and I walked along under branches lit up by the moon, posing our questions to our deal as our days disappeared all too soon. But I've wandered much further today than I should, and I can't seem to find my way back to the wood. Help me if you can, I've got to get back to the house that was owned by one. You'd be surprised, there's so much to be done. Count all the bees in the hive, chase all the clouds from the skies. Oh yeah. Back to the days of Christopher Robin, back to the ways of Christopher Robin, back to the days of and then we segue here into Granny's song. Come on, fingers. People smile and tell me I'm the lucky one, and we've just begun. Think I'm gonna have a son, and he'll be like she and me, as
love, conceived in lust. The sun is gonna shine above. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love, honey, everything will bring a chain of love. In the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything is gonna be alright. Love the girl who holds the world in a paper cup. Come on and drink it up. Love her and she'll bring you luck. If you find she helps your mind, better take her home. And boy, don't you live alone. Try to earn what love is on. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. Everything will bring a chain of love. Every morning when I rise, you bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything is gonna be on. Take it, guy.
Pardon the ignorance on this question, Kenny.
That was
but
called Danny's Song.
did you write that?
Yeah, I wrote that.
All right, now, knowing what we know today, what we've talked about today, is it hard to go back to sing a song you wrote at that particular time in your life when obviously things were happier?
Well, actually, that wasn't about me.
Oh,
That
okay.
was about my brother Danny. That's why I call it Danny's Song. That was a lot of people think that was like a child I had named Danny or something. But that was taken from a letter that Dan sent me about his what had happened in his life, the birth of his son, and he was thinking about getting married. And there was just a quality to the letter that was so simple and heartfelt that a lot of the lines were pulled right out of the letter.
How about that lust line that you threw in there?
That was, I'm telling you, this is my new honesty.
I see. I'm going to change it around. See if they notice this. It works.
It doesn't rhyme with anything.
But it works.
When does lust rhyme?
Don't have to, baby. It feels good.
But when you sang that, and you kind of looked around the room like, anybody knows that? And we're looking at each other like, is that how the song went?
Are we supposed to laugh at this or what? Oh, well, we noticed. Know that if you would. All right, let us say this. We're still going to have time for some more conversation and tunage.
We have,
he has to go.
and we have 5 pairs of tickets to give away for tonight's show at the Wiltern.
Which we'll give to the most intelligent questions that come through over the television.
All right, we've got a ton of calls,
Telephone.
and we're gonna try to get to them. Let's take some business.
Kenny Loggins.
Right. It's my new television show.
All right, well, let's say this. This is business stuff, but there are some tickets available for tonight at the Wiltern. Tomorrow night is sold out. Forget that. Can't go to that. But there are some tickets available for the show. It is tonight. It is at the Wiltern. As Brian said, we do have 5 pairs of tickets to give away for tonight's show.
We will take a quick break here, come back and take some phone calls from the listeners. Is that all right with you, Kenny?
Yeah, I'd love that.
And another tune. Can you do
another
that for us?
tune.
Very cool.
We'll be right back. KLOS, the Mark and Brian program with Kenny Loggins. Time now to take some calls. We've been stingy as usual.
Okay, we're guilty.
Before we go to the calls, let me say this to you, Kenny. Not that you are the God of all fathers, or that you know more than all other dads know, but it's very inspiring for a single man, such as myself, who looks forward to having children someday and wants more than anything to be a good father. To know that these, you start formulating, I'm 32, and at that age you start formulating ideas of what kind of father you want to be. And it's nice to know that someone else has similar ideas on how to communicate with their children and how to be honest.
One of the biggest traps that men fall into is they create the parenting and they create the family that they think they're supposed to have. So, when, I'm going to have a father knows best kind of family, or I'm going to have this kind of, and most of our positive models, or models that we think are positive, come from television. And those are all lies, because on television, they never really deal with anything. So our model of parenting is to not deal with anything. And so, basically what I'm saying now is somewhat anarchistic. You know, it says, do not protect anybody from you, but put who you are out. And there should be room in your relationship for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
If you find that you're a different guy with the guys than you are with your wife, something's wrong. And that's, right there, is a big issue. And the same goes for women. I know women are completely different with their girlfriends than they are with their husbands. Why? Because there's no room in their relationship for all of them. And that means that you have to reinvent your relationship.
Cool.
Write a book. Jeez. And I'll buy it. All right, let's go to the phones.
We got a ton, too, Kenny. We'll get through as many as we can. And Bob, if you're driving in, we're going to run over here, so pardon us. But you know Bob Coburn. He hosts Rockline.
Right.
You've done Rockline?
We've talked, yeah.
Okay. Bob doesn't mind these kind of things. So we'll run
Well,
over.
he says he don't.
He bitches a little bit, but it's cool. It's Kenny. It's okay.
All right, let's go to the phones and just take the first one. Gary? Gary?
Yes.
You're on the air with Kenny Loggins.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Brian. Hello, Kenny.
Hey, Gary.
Listen, I've got you and I have a mutual acquaintance. His name is Duke Bardwell. Does that name ring a bell?
Oh, my God. Yeah, Duke from Louisiana.
Yeah,
Duke Kane.
back in the 70s, he gave me my first electric guitar when he and I were living up in Silverado Canyon. He was playing bass for Elvis at the time.
That's right.
And I have lost touch with him, and I would love to connect with him again. If you could help me out on that, it would be much appreciated.
I wish I could, but I've lost touch with Duke, too. Last I heard of him, he was in Baton Rouge, and has a family there, and that was, God, easily 6 years ago. But I'd love to see him again, too, so if we can increase the voltage of this station and send it into Louisiana, send a message to Duke that I'd like to see him someday.
Yeah, I can barely hear you. Is there anything else you can give me besides just Baton Rouge?
At this point, it doesn't seem like it.
He just said send a message to him that Kenny would like to see him someday. Yeah.
Mark?
We're both here.
Never mind. Thanks anyway.
Well, listen, good
What
talking
you
with
need? What do you need? Go ahead, sir.
I'm
Pillowcase?
just going to say, love you guys.
Oh,
love you
guys.
We have this relationship. You know, we got a good relationship with our listeners. If we can just keep our relationships outside the radio as cool as this one, we're jamming. We got it.
All right. Let's go to line 3. This is... No, that's not it. Let's go to Robert.
I'm impressed with the technology.
Thank you very
guys
much.
have here. It's the 90s.
Robert?
Yes, hello.
Yes, you're on the air with Kenny Loggins.
Hey, how you guys doing?
How you doing?
I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys since out the other street when you were going to the music center one day. I got a trivia question for you guys.
Okay, well, I'll back off, and you guys can take this one.
No, okay. It's when Kenny Loggins and Jim Messina first started. Do you guys know who they opened for at the Troubadour?
Open for at the Troubadour. Do you know this one, Kenny?
How many years ago?
I'll give you a hint.
Their first album.
You want to be a junkie, what?
You want to be a junkie.
Charo?
Charo!
No?
The Italian bombshell.
You want to be a junkie. Boy, that's familiar.
Actually, there's a pretty tragic story on Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah.
Oh, we played that yesterday. Superfly. Yes, you opened for for Curtis Mayfield?
Yeah, does that seem like a logical pairing?
Boy, it sure does.
Curtis Mayfield.
Now that you mentioned it, yeah, it's a perfect ticket. What a bill.
The very first time I walked out on that stage, I would open the show alone acoustically and do Danny's song, House of Blue Corner, and stuff like that. And there were a couple of gorgeous black girls sitting right at the foot of the stage, right in front of me. And I was performing, doing the songs, and they were saying, get down, get down. What I found out later they were really saying was, get off the stage.
No. Oh.
And you're thinking, yeah, I'm cooking now, man.
Yeah, but they're loving me here.
I'm in it, baby. Let's get it done.
Linda.
Yes.
Go right ahead, ma'am.
Hello?
You're on the air with Kenny Loggins.
Hi. Hola.
Hola.
Hi. I understand your views on love, and I really can relate, and I found someone really great in my life, and I'm going to be married soon, so I'm really excited.
Good for you.
We don't have any children, and I understand it's so devastating. How do you get your inspiration when you go on stage to sing these happy songs and to give so much of yourself?
Well, whether they're happy songs or not, you sing them because I think my inspiration has a lot to do with the letters that I get back from people, that people appreciate. Like a song like Real Things, not only people at the edge of divorce or who have gone through divorce, but the children of divorce who come to me and thank me for that song, and that carries me through. As a songwriter, I want to write stuff that's going to be around a while. And so the reason why I'm still at it is because I see myself mostly as a songwriter, and I love to perform my material. And, you know, I want to write things that matter, things that move people.
Well, I think everyone can relate, and when I've been at your concerts, it's like everyone can relate, and no one wants to leave because they want to hear every word of every song. And I think everyone can feel a lot what you're singing.
And I appreciate that, and that's why I'm performing at the Wiltern.
Great, and I was wondering if you...
Little theaters across the country, so that people can hear the words.
You like the smaller venues?
Yeah, a lot. And I'd rather stay 5 days in one town and,
Great.
you know, camp out and do the morning shows and, you know, talk to people.
There's a song that you sing, and I'm not sure the name, but it starts, she sings to me now and then.
It's called Now and Then.
Can you sing a little bit of that?
Sure, I can.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Let's just put a guitar together with a cape on the 5th fret.
Love that kind of talk.
Neat.
That's so music talky.
All right, Linda, you hang on for that, okay?
Hey,
Great,
Linda, did you want to go to the show tonight?
I'd love to go.
Okay, we got a pair of tickets for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You
Thank
betcha.
you. Enjoy it.
Bub. Bub, Linda.
She calls me Bubba.
It's a love thing.
Trina?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi. Kenny, I
Hi.
just want to tell you, first of all, thank you so very much for the album. It's great.
Thank you.
Second thing, can you say hi to my friend Gail, because she's not going to believe I'm talking to you.
Well, Gail, come on.
We're going to see you tomorrow night. We're going to be in the 4th row center.
Okay.
Question for you. Do you have any plans on getting together with Jimmy for possibly an album or anything like that?
We're going to get together for dinner.
What about at the...
Well, just don't make it at Mark's house, because all you'll get is a turkey dog and no chips.
He's bitched about that for 2 days.
Hey, you can all come to my house for dinner. I'm a good cook.
All right. Are you single?
Yes, I am.
No, because we have a single gentleman in the studio today.
I know, Kenny, thanks, though. No, thank you, though.
Oh, I'd be in love. You know how Nicole is with Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
That's how I am with Kenny Loggins.
Well, there it is.
You
know what?
That's how we are.
We're actually
I am
with
shaking
Kenny Loggins.
like a leaf.
we're touching him right now.
Oh, my
Would you
God.
stop that?
What are you wearing, dear?
I get the cup he's drinking out of.
Okay, I'll get the bag.
I wanted to know also, are you planning to have another benefit concert in Santa Barbara?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
But I am performing in Santa Barbara, but I'm not supposed to mention that.
Oh, yeah?
Not till after this show sells out tonight.
Well, we'll be there tomorrow night. I can't believe this. This is so exciting for me. Can I ask you one more thing? On the real thing, why didn't you start it out with Isabella's name instead of Amanda?
Syllables, and at the time, I didn't want to put too much heat on Isabella.
Yeah.
You know, so we call it poetic license, which I had it revoked recently, but I'm going to poetry school on weekends.
Oh, great. Well, Mark and Brian, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I love you guys. And is there a possibility that I could get 2 pillowcases signed by Kenny, one for me and one for Gail?
We'll do our best. Of course you get the pillowcases, and if we can get him down here before he leaves, he'll sign, okay?
Oh, great.
We'll make him.
Oh, great. Thank
Just bring
you
him
so
to the
much.
show tonight. And
We'll do that. Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
All right. Look, it's 1 minute after 10 o'clock. Can we have one more song?
He said he can do 2.
Cool.
So we're going to do Conviction of the Heart second, and you're doing what first?
I'll do the one the lady requested, which was Now and Then.
Cool.
Okay.
Kenny Loggins.
So we're going to put mic 2 on the guitar, and I'll just keep mic 3 right here. This is really upscale. They have, you know, as many as...
Or a mic.
As many as I need. I'll take the headphones off so I don't get scared. She sings to me now and then, gentle refrains of some mornings, first rays of sunlight into dropped roses, winds rolling through fallen leaves, whistling in the sycamores. These are her songs of love. She needs to be reassured of all of the hope you hold for her. And brother, when the lady loves you, don't ever
never let it go. Take your world into your arms and let your feelings show. And she never will leave. Always these memories will stay with me, and I'll think of her now.
It's awfully early for that note.
That's just a bit of that one. Just a bit of that one.
All right, we played this next tune right as Kenny was walking in the studio. It's Conviction of the Heart. He did this on The Tonight Show. He did this in San Francisco for us. And there's also a story that you told as you drove down from Santa Barbara about this particular tune, and it means a great deal to hear that coming from you. So,
especially in this town.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, let's do Conviction. I'm going to... What? Not Cody. Not Cody. We'll switch over to Conviction. And so I have to retune, so we'll talk a little bit before we...
Because you were deeply moved as you... I mean, just tell the story, because it really summed up why you wrote it.
Okay. We initially, Guy Thomas and I wrote the tune, and the song comes from a place of the individual connecting to himself and to his own, finally getting love in his life, and realizing that he'd been never really allowing that to happen in his life. And then when you connect to love in your life, you can't help but then connect to the earth itself. It's an issue of respecting yourself and suddenly seeing that that you're a worthy person. You know, you're worthy of being loved and you're worthy of giving love. And that somehow always transfers to the universal, that a person who's in love will find that their affection will move all the way to their connection to the earth. So the bigger picture is that, but actually the song came into focus for us when we had that big toxic waste spill in Ventura, and what should have been an hour-and-a-half drive was an 8-hour drive. And around the 7th hour, I was beginning to dawn on me, why isn't anybody pissed off? Why isn't everybody really angry about this? And why is it we take everything in stride? And it just seems incredible to me that a toxic waste spill that's going to pollute that particular river they washed it off in for God knows how many years, and the cloud of burning toxic fumes over Ventura, and nobody, I didn't read about a thing or hear about a thing, nobody seemed to object. And it's one of those things about the 90s that we take for granted that makes me so crazy. And it reminded me of the movie Network, where Max Shoemaker, the newsman, stands up and says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And it seems to me that that's kind of the purpose of Earth Day, is for everybody to anger is appropriate in this place. To get in touch with the fact that our Earth is being taken out from underneath us. And we have to get angry about it. We have to be mad as hell. And that's the only way that anything is really going to reach a place of change, is when the people themselves can say, you know, I'm not going to take it anymore. And don't. The problem is we find too many intolerable things tolerable. And that gets back to what we were talking about before. How can this be tolerable? It's because we don't feel anything. We have allowed ourselves to shut down to a point where we just don't feel anymore. And that's got to change. And so the essence of relationship in your life, here I go again, you know, that if you can allow yourself to feel within your relationship, you will then start feeling everything. And then things that should be intolerable will become intolerable. And then you have to do something about it. So when I talk to environmental magazines, I say, yeah, well, if you want to change the earth, change your life. Because as you change your life, then you will see much more clearly what is intolerable and what's the injustice of what's happening to the earth. And those things can only be done by people who can't feel. Ta-da!
Let's hear the song.
All right. So let's switch this mic there. And God, it's cozy in here this morning, I would say. If you just move off my lap for a second, I can sing this.
Oh, we like you. We didn't dig it too much. Very cool tune.
I dig a pony. We'll make it as best we can. We're all dreams that we once had. This is the time to bring them back. What were the promises? Caught on the tips of our tongues. Do we forget or forgive? There's a whole other life waiting to be lived when one day we're brave enough to talk with conviction of the heart. And down your streets I'd walked alone, as if my feet were not mine. Such is the path I chose. Doors I have opened and closed. I'm tired of living this life, fooling myself, believing where I'd never given love with any conviction of the heart. One with the earth, with the sky, one with everything in life. I believe we'll survive if we only try. How long must we all wait to change the world bound in chains that we live in? To know what it is to forgive and be forgiven. Too many years of taking now. Isn't it time to stop somehow? Air that's too angry to breathe, water our children can't drink. You've heard it hundreds of times. You say you're aware, believe and you care. But do you care enough? Where's your conviction of the heart?
Man.
Kenny Loggins.
All right. for the show at the Wiltern. And tomorrow's show is sold out unless you run across somebody who's already got tickets for that. So, Kenny, oddly enough, in the last 45 minutes, you've left us with a feeling that you've been a friend of ours since, like, high school.
And so I would assume you do that to your audiences. Yeah. You have to know, we'll finish it with this. When Mark and I were put together 6 years ago, it was our first week. We were spending the whole entire 24-hour period for that 1 week together in a hotel room, trying to get to know each other. And we were sharing our favorite radio stories, and we both had heard this from different parts of the country. You were in some other city doing somebody's morning show, and you sang Danny's song. And we both said, yeah, I heard that. I heard that. It was the nicest, most inspiring moment of someone singing on a morning show, on a radio program that we had both ever heard.
Wow.
We made that acknowledgement, and we both said, think of the day, if one day we're lucky enough to be somewhere where Kenny Loggins would come into our studio and sing us a song.
And you just gave us that day.
Well, thank you. I sure appreciate it.
Listen, best of luck. You've already dealt with this fork in the road of your life that you've taken, and you've taken it extremely well, and we can only hope that if any of us ever have to deal with anything as heavy-duty as that we handle it with as much grace and power as you did.
Well, I appreciate that, and you know, we didn't get a chance to talk about the other half of my life, which is that since the separation and divorce, I've fallen in love.
Congratulations.
Which brings, I think, more, what's the word, authenticity to what I'm saying. You know, that experience is the best teacher, and love is the strongest teacher of all. So, you know, I can only wish that on you.
Thank you.
He wishes that on you.
I know. So you're taken. All right.
Well, it kind of blows that out of the water there.
Thanks again. Come back anytime.
Let us tell you once again, the album is Leap of Faith. Kenny Loggins, it's been in the stores for a while. Go grab your copy as soon as you can. We still have 4 pairs of tickets to tonight's show. We have to get out of here, so we will allow those to go to first come, first serve on the phone. So, Nursey, why don't you go ahead and handle that for us, and enjoy the show at the Wiltern. Again, tomorrow night is sold out.
Will you come back, Kenny?
Sure, anytime.
God, we love it.
Very cool. Kenny Loggins, and again, Kenny, it was very special. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Gave us a good moment.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. We're going to see you later. I guess that's it. We got to get... Bob, can we go a little further? No.
Kenny, Bob,
how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Hey.
I just want to thank you guys for running late today. That was an hour and 20 minutes of great radio. You know, Kenny, go a little further if you open up and get a little bit more in touch with yourself. Hide behind the wall.
I hope I didn't scare you.
That's a good point, Kenny. You know, Mark and I both open up a lot on the show, for better or for worse. Sometimes you drive home and you say, why did I tell them
I've
that?
heard that you're kind of the Regis and Kathy Lee of
Oh, that hurt. Man.
Get out!
I'm wounded.
That's it!
I get to be Kathy Lee. I don't want to be Regis.
Yeah, I'm stuck in there.
Listen, but anyway, boy, and you just fell right into that with us, and so thanks again.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the Wiltern tonight and tomorrow night. All right. Tomorrow.